I've made a couple of videos this offseason talking about the favorites to win the Heisman Trophy. All the names you'd expect to be in the running for the award, but what about the players that aren't considered favorites? If I were to guess, there are going to be a number of players receiving Heisman votes this season that are currently long shots to win the award. Today, I'm going to be taking a look at 10 sleepers to win the Heisman Trophy based on the current betting odds. Before we get to today's video, make sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. If you're watching this video, odds are that you love college football, and odds are you aren't subscribed to my channel, so make sure to subscribe to one of the best college football communities here on YouTube. Also, make sure to drop a like on this video as well. It helps out with that YouTube algorithm and helps share the video with more college football fans. Plus, it only takes a second to do. For today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the current odds provided by FanDuel. A wide receiver winning the Heisman seems like a long shot, but we saw it happen just a couple of years ago. Ohio State wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. is by far the best wide receiver in all of college football, and he has 30-1 odds to win the Heisman Trophy. Last season for the Buckeyes, he caught 77 passes for 1,200 yards and 14 receiving touchdowns. Since it's a quarterback award, it's going to be tough for Harrison Jr. to win, but considering there's a lot of question marks at Ohio State in regards to their quarterback room, that actually could benefit him. If they have a couple quarterbacks play, then there's not going to be a quarterback that can be in the running, so maybe it'll be Marvin Harrison Jr. Or if he just puts up insane numbers, better than what Devontae Smith did a couple seasons ago, that'll be a strong enough case for him to make a push. It seems crazy that he's still on these lists, but Spencer Rattler is a Heisman sleeper for 2023, as he's currently 50-1 to win the Heisman. I know it seems like a couple years ago we were talking about him being one of the favorites, but I really think a lot of people are sleeping on Rattler and South Carolina for 2023. In his first season with the Gamecocks, he threw for over 3,000 yards with 18 passing touchdowns. There's been a lot of hype surrounding Rattler this offseason, and a lot of reports that I've seen are saying he's playing the best football of his career, and they're saying that he can have a really good season along with South Carolina. Now, if Spencer Rattler is going to make a Heisman push, not only does he have to put up really good numbers, South Carolina is also going to have to be a really good team in the SEC as well. But I think both of those things can happen. Another quarterback in the SEC that is currently 50-1 to win the Heisman is Arkansas quarterback KJ Jefferson. He's been solid for the Razorbacks over the last couple of years, as he's been one of the better quarterbacks in all of college football. Over the last 2 seasons, he's thrown for 5,500 yards with 45 passing touchdowns and only 9 interceptions. He's also added 1,400 yards on the ground with 19 rushing scores as well. He's one of the best dual-threat quarterbacks in the nation, and I think Arkansas is going to have a really solid season in 2023. If he's able to throw for 3,000 passing yards, 30 touchdowns, and maybe get his rushing yards to over 1,000, I think KJ Jefferson could find his name in the running. We've never seen a tight end win the Heisman, and we likely never will, but I think if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Brock Bowers. The Georgia tight end currently is 60-1 to win the Heisman, and that may be a bargain. I know I talked about Marvin Harrison Jr. being the best wide receiver in all of college football, but you could honestly make a case that Brock Bowers is the best pass catcher in the entire nation. Last season for the Bulldogs, he caught 63 passes for just under 1,000 yards with 7 receiving touchdowns. He also added 100 yards on the ground with 3 rushing scores as well. That was coming off a true freshman season in which he caught 60 passes for 900 yards and 13 touchdowns. If he has another season like that and Carson Beck doesn't really make a Heisman push, there's a chance that Brock Bowers honestly can make a run at being the first tight end to ever win the Heisman. We're getting to some pretty big sleepers now, and we're at 80-1 odds. We'll kick things off with a quarterback in Utah quarterback Cameron Rising. He's been great for Utah these last 2 seasons, as he's been arguably the best quarterback in the Pac-12. In 2022, he completed 65% of his passes for over 3,000 yards with 26 passing touchdowns. He also added 500 yards on the ground with 6 rushing scores. The year prior, he threw for 2,500 yards with 20 passing touchdowns while rushing for 500 yards on the ground with 6 rushing scores as well. He did suffer an ACL injury at the end of last season, so he is still recovering from that, but if Utah manages to be a top 10 team in the country, there's a chance that he ends up being the best quarterback in the Pac-12 and maybe the country. If it's not going to be a quarterback winning the Heisman, it might be a running back. And maybe one of the best running backs in all of college football is Quinlon Judkins, who is currently 80-1. Last year as a true freshman for Ole Miss, he rushed for over 1,500 yards with 16 rushing touchdowns. He also caught 15 passes for 130 yards with the receiving score as well. I mean, if he did that as a true freshman, who knows what kind of numbers he can put up in his second season. Not to mention, since the quarterback room at Ole Miss is a little bit tricky based on who's going to be starting, there's a chance that he's by far the best player on the field for the offense. If he's able to make a run at 2,000 yards, then I wouldn't be shocked if he's the running back that takes home the Heisman this time around. Another running back that has 80-1 odds is Clemson running back Will Shipley. Over the last 2 years, he's been one of the better running backs in all of college football. He had a career year in 2022 as he ran for 1,200 yards with 15 rushing scores. He's also a threat in the passing game as he caught 38 passes for 250 yards. In my last video, I talked about Cade Klubnik being a Heisman contender for Clemson this upcoming year, but if he doesn't meet expectations or his numbers just aren't there, then the voters could turn to Will Shipley, who does it on the ground and through the air as well. He's one of the best pass-catching running backs in all of college football, and there's a chance he's among the leaders on his team in receiving in addition to rushing. We have another running back at 80-1 odds in Wisconsin running back Braylon Allen. I've talked about him a number of times this offseason and last year as well, as he's one of the best running backs in all of college football. As a true freshman, he ran for 1,300 yards with 12 rushing scores. How did he follow up that season? By posting a nearly identical stat line. He ran for 1,250 yards with 11 rushing scores and caught 13 passes as well last year. Over the last 2 seasons alone for Wisconsin, Braylon Allen has rushed for 2,500 yards with 23 scores. I know that the Badgers got an upgrade at the quarterback position this offseason, but the offense still runs through Braylon Allen. We are really getting to some big sleepers now, as we have UCF quarterback Reese Plumley at 100-1 odds. In his first season at quarterback for UCF last year, he threw for over 2,500 yards with 14 passing touchdowns. He also rushed for nearly 900 yards with 11 touchdowns on the ground as well. You can make the case he is the best dual threat quarterback in all of college football, as he has over 3,500 passing yards and 2,000 rushing yards throughout his career. With UCF moving to the Big 12, he's going to have an opportunity to face some better opponents. Now, I'm not going to say he's going to have a repeat season of Lamar Jackson, but if there's any quarterback in college football that can post numbers similar to that, it's Reese Plumley. I mean, there's a chance that he could throw for over 3,000 yards while rushing for over 1,000 while having 40 total touchdowns. If he's able to do that for the Knights in 2023, he has a legitimate case at winning the Heisman. Our final sleeper on today's video is another quarterback in the Big 12 with 100-1 odds in Texas Tech quarterback Tyler Shough. He's been around for quite some time, as this is going to be his 5th collegiate season. He spent a couple years at Oregon and then he went to Texas Tech, where he's been hurt the last couple of seasons. He's only appeared in 11 games for the Red Raiders over the last 2 years, but in those 11 games, he's thrown for 2,200 yards with 13 passing touchdowns. Last season, he rushed for 300 yards with 4 rushing scores. A lot of people were really high on Tyler Shough and this Texas Tech team in 2023. Many people think the Red Raiders can make a potential run towards the Big 12 championship. Well, if that's the case, and the Red Raiders emerge as a top 10 to 15 team, and Tyler Shough puts up some really solid numbers, then who knows? Maybe he's a quarterback that can shock the world and take home the Heisman Trophy. Well, those are 10 sleepers I currently have that can make a run at winning the Heisman in 2023. Was there a player on today's list that you think has a legitimate chance, or was there a player that you think in no way is actually going to win the Heisman Trophy? Whoever you think it is, or if there's a sleeper I didn't talk about, let me know who it is in the comment section down below. Before you leave, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. Also, don't forget to drop a like on this video as well. It helps out with that YouTube algorithm and helps share the video with more college football fans. Plus, it only takes a second to do. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.